What up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode, another week. I'm Matt Butler. That's Paul Spann.
Black Man Spann in the building.
You're tuned into
the MSR Podcast, virtual edition.
Virtual edition. Nargis is out today. I'm just rocking with Paul. Paul rocking with me. She has some tech issues, but she will be back next week. We got a lot to get into, though. We got a whole lot to get into, all right? We're going to talk about bad parenting double standards. We're going to talk about end of love and hip hop. We're going to talk about the Met Gala. And of course, we still got our Millennial Moment of the week coming up right after this.
No doubt.
All right, P. Let's check out what Mr. Nick Cannon had to say about how he handles his daughters as opposed to his son.
My son been dating.
Oh, really?
And I've allowed it.
Why?
I've encouraged it.
Encouraged?
But
At
my
15?
daughter,
I hope you've been allowing it and encouraging that.
no,
Too.
absolutely not.
That
Really?
makes no sense.
That's
no
first of all,
sense.
it's absolutely a double standard.
I hope you know I'm going to be talking about this on the TV show.
You have to, because first of all, and I know I get in trouble a
Yes,
lot because I say
please.
things with my chest, but there is a difference when parenting a son and then when parenting a daughter.
And
I am
2026?
yes, because I am more protective of my daughter because there's things out there that I have to protect my daughter from, like, as we know, there's certain type of individuals that you want to keep your daughter away from. My son, it's a different conversation when he's going out into the dating world.
You don't want... my dad's a football coach.
Right. And I know he loves his daughter in a way that if you call, my son is not calling me like, Dad, she hit me. He's not doing that. But if somebody puts their hands on my daughter,
Okay.
I'm going to jail.
That's-
Just like your daddy would.
That's one thing, but... Then,
Ain't no one thing. That's
but
the
you're
only
not-
thing.
Okay, but for your son, you're not
I'm
worried
doing
about...
25 to life if somebody put their hands on my
You're
daughter.
not worried about gold diggers for your son?
No, he got a whole lot of money. His mama's Mariah Carey.
Oh,
He's good.
All right, man. Paul, what's your thoughts on this, bro? I want to hear what you got to say about this.
Well, firstly, I'll just get a few things that I admire about Nick Cannon out of the way. He's a hell of an entrepreneur, creator, visionary. He's a great host. And from what I hear, has a very extremely great work ethic. That's what I hear about Nick Cannon. With all that said, any element of social commentary that I've heard from him is lackluster at best, if not piss poor most times. Right?
Yeah, it's been bad lately. It's been bad lately, dog.
Overtly piss poor as of late. His takes have been horrible. Him aside, because that's one element of talking point. The fact that this thought process and mentality not only permeates within him, but also I would imagine within like, many men. I just think that that it does such a disservice, in my opinion. Like when we had this conversation with Nargis not too long ago with the whole Meg and all those things, and having to grapple with listening to women, like being a man and listening to women talk about the almost how horrible a man is. You know what I'm saying? It's just like a horrible thing to have to grapple with when you are yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So this mentality, even and understand, none of us is not talking about protecting women and protecting children and protecting girls. None of us is not talking about that. But the thought process that there has to be an overt different set of rules for your daughter and for your son, and even the fact that everybody's conversation goes to the extremity of someone hitting their child. You understand what I'm saying? Of some men, and then it speaks to the fact that all men are crazed dogs and that are going to hit you, as opposed to the thought process of raising my daughter and equipping her for what. Not that anything can't happen to anyone, because it can. Domestic violence can happen with men and women. It can happen with a woman to a man. It can happen with whatever variant of relationship people can have. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like the thought process that it always goes to, even all of this, I'm gonna be in jail. Like you're probably not, Cannon. You're probably gonna call the proper authorities and do whatever is necessary to do. You understand what I'm saying? But like
Yeah.
what I'm saying is like that ideology that I have to be on the porch with a shotgun because my daughter is a daughter. Like I said, I'm not talking about protection. I'm talking about the thought. You know what I'm saying? The idea that like, yeah, my son has nothing to worry about when you're not even talking about the fact that there are all sorts of women that you should equip your son to know about. There are sorts of also you
Right.
talk about a woman hitting a man, which is a horrible thing, but also talk about how you as my son, I don't want you to ever put yourself in a compromised position where a woman can say you hit her. You understand what I'm
Hold
saying?
that thought.
Uh-huh.
I do. Hold that thought. Because you touch on something that I think is important, right? Because the thing that when you see this video, the thing most people are gonna focus on is the double standard towards the daughter, right? I'm a girl dad, so I understand the thinking. But I
Yeah.
want to talk about protecting, right? We never talk about protecting boys.
Mm-hmm.
We always assume boys are just ready for the world, right? They get to a certain age, we putting the foot to them and kicking them out the door, and you got to do this and you got to do that. And then we wonder why, because it does go back to our conversation from last week, right? It does. And it goes back to a lot of the comments that we were getting about our conversation from last week, which we weren't getting like the absolute cesspool of conversation that like you see online. Like we just, our audience isn't that, but we were
Right.
getting a couple of like, y'all not hard enough on Meg, y'all not hard enough this, y'all don't do, what about this, what about that? Well, yeah, you do get, this is how you get the idea of boys will be boys and boys will be okay, because we don't put any focus on them, and you pushing them out and you growing them up by the time they're 15, in your mind they're grown up. And that's how they don't learn responsibility. That's how they don't learn to all of the things you need to be equipped to be a man. I would argue that you need close attention to the boys, that you need to overprotect the boys. You need to overteach boys, not more than the girls. Not saying that. Overteach, you need to overprotect them, because they have to go out in the world and make decisions just like your daughter would. I understand the idea of not wanting your child to get hit. I would probably go to jail if somebody hit my daughter. I'll be that toxic. I'll practice toxic masculinity in this moment and say that. Okay, yes. But I'd also probably go to jail if hey, I'll tell you a real quick story. Real quick. Okay. I got jumped back in like I don't know. I was like in the 7th or 8th grade. Okay, I know I was in middle school. It must have been the 7th grade. Actually, I know I was in the 7th grade. I was on the wrong block, on the wrong street. Bunch of old heads jumped me. Okay, I was a taller kid. I looked older than I was. Old heads jumped me. Shouts to my man Chucky. Chucky might save my life today, bro. Real live. Okay.
Right.
I remember I walked in there all beat up and bruised up. My dad saw me, got in the car. I don't think he found anybody, but his intention was, I'm going to jail because y'all hurt my, okay? I didn't have time to tell him they were older than me or nothing like that. He just saw his son. What happened to you? I got jumped. I got jumped on this street. Car out. Nobody could stop him. I'm not bragging about that. Well, actually, I am kind of bragging about that, because I believe like that is saying at the end of the day, that's my boy that got beat up. My boy is hurt.
Right.
That reality we always talk about that we would have for our daughters is this. He had the same for his son. That made me feel protected. I felt like my dad loved me. I mean, you know what I mean? Like I knew that I was going to be okay, because my dad didn't hit me with the, well, you need to go back out there, and it wasn't that.
Right.
It was,
right.
Oh, I need to go protect my son.
And I fully understand exactly what you're saying. And obviously it's like tongue in cheek as far as the going to jail part and beating somebody down and all that stuff, because obviously everyone wants to protect the child exactly the way that your father did for you, the way he's supposed to. Like I am the father of a son. You know what I'm saying? I don't have a daughter. I have 4 goddaughters. I have a niece. You know what I'm saying? And I know that I always, with all of them, I just want to impart as much knowledge to them as possible, and not only help them be able to protect themselves, but also to the best of their ability, be as great judges of character as possible. by building them up. And that's definitely not negating our sons and having a conversation with the boys. And like you were talking about, even pouring into them even more. Like, why would we assume they would already know how to do certain things if they haven't been equipped with that? You know what I'm saying? Like, even the flippant nature of saying that, like, and like I said, I know the issue is larger than Nick Cannon, but even talking about the young lady in the interview brought up, but what about a gold digger or something like that? In his response, man, his mother's around here, you'll be fine. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
like that mentality.
And why is that something? I get why Nick Cannon might have to be concerned about somebody coming after his money, right? Like Nick Cannon,
right.
Name that NBA player may have to have this concern about somebody going after their money or wanting them just for their the riches and the fame and all of the shit.
Right.
Most of y'all
All the spoils.
have to worry.
No.
Most of y'all do not have to worry about this, dog.
It's the cliche thing to say.
Yeah. Exactly. I had people saying that to me when I was young, and okay, nobody was after me for my little bit of money.
For the money that you did not have.
Yeah, right. In most cases, honestly, a lot of the women making more. So maybe we need to be teaching our daughters about gold diggers instead of, you know what I mean? Like, some of this shit is just like old, boring hat. Like, it's just
it
boring
really is.
conversation. And it just raises. Yeah.
No, what was that? It raises what?
It just creates boring people with boring conversations. Like, I just, and sometimes, bro, I think a lot of celebrities are having this conversation, and I think that's why it's more important for just like people that aren't necessarily celebrities and just like regular parents, people that are actually raising children, to have these conversations. I think on the surface, the conversation is important, right? It is important to talk about setting a standard of protection for your daughters. I do believe that, right?
Yes.
One thing Jen and I talk about in here a lot, right? With August and Makai. We talk about setting a good example for Kai between she and I, right? Like being a couple, me, him, seeing, take care of his mother, be good to his mother, so he'll understand that, right? We also teach him the importance of, that's your little sister.
Look out
protect
for
her, right? And then maybe August will understand that this is the standard of, I don't need a man to protect me necessarily, but the men around me should protect me, whether they're some dating or whether it's someone that's just my friend or my colleague, that would create that standard of protection from top to bottom, right?
Yes.
Bottom. So it is important for, especially going off the conversation we had last week, P, right? Megan, and how Megan, and it was explained to us in a great way, right? That Megan is almost the standard, or standard is not the right word, the definition of unprotected Black woman.
Right.
The thing with Tory Lanez and all that, and the reaction to it, like a lot of people have a lot of visceral for Megan Thee Stallion. So other people have a soft spot for Megan, because it's like, we should take care of her because she wasn't protected, though she was trying to protect a Black man. Right. And it bit her. And that's very true. So I understand the conversation about protecting the women in our lives, not just the woman you're dating, but your daughter, your friends, your cousins, your aunts, your neighbor, whoever. But you still have to have that conversation, Paul, in a non-toxic way.
That's my point.
It can't be.
It's not. That's my point. Like protection, and that's the whole point about setting the double standard for your son and going, well, it's whatever he can do. That's my point with it. Of course, protection is paramount, and understand what I'm saying.
Right.
Like from my mother and from my father. That's even the reason that I'm talking about. Like even the obviously, any man, any person worth their grain of salt is going to protect their child. They're going to, and they're going to want to get physical with anyone that gets physical with their child. When I was 11 and 12 years old, I had an aunt that was going through some semi-small domestic, situations when I was at the house. And myself
Yeah.
and my cousins took, things upon ourselves to take matters into our own hands at that given time because that's what needed to happen. You understand what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But what I'm talking about, like, it's like the flippant mentality, and even like understand something. My 4 goddaughters were primarily raised by their mom, right? They had a legion of men, their uncles, and they had people around them that were, that were men, but like they had to learn. I remember when their mother had them in self-defense classes. I remember when their mother, I remember all of those things. Like none of this is. I think we need to get past the point where it's mutually protection is exclusive upon gender. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Where for certain men, certain things are devalued. You understand, which creates
Yeah.
sometimes they devalue certain things in women. You understand what I'm saying? Because
Right.
they're also devalued. You understand what I'm saying? So it has to be not it can't just be, the conversation has to graduate beyond the simple factor of machismo and everything. And I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that when we haven't equipped the psychology behind protection. We haven't talked to the little boys and let them know, hey, bro, just because a young lady rejects your advancement, it doesn't mean that you have to fly off the hook and fly off the handle on that. You understand what I'm saying? Like we haven't, like it's like they just assuming, yeah, he already knows, and I'm a ha 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 ha. Even that story that I always tell, and you always know about the thing that happened with my son when he was 13, and the older young lady that wanted to take him out and all of those things. And when I was sharing the story with you all, and I was telling you how some of the dudes I told, oh man, that's what's up, that's what's up, and then those that knew better, thought better.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So like
Right.
I said, I had to think about protecting my son, both from himself and from all sorts of things that can happen.
Yeah, that's 100% right. The thing that I think we miss a lot when men talk about protecting, it's important we have in this conversation. It's not just physical protection. And I think that's where all men of all races mess up, right? We think if I beat up the dude who dumped you, or if I show physical strength, then I am protecting you. But we don't know how to emotionally protect, right? What do you do? And I struggle with it sometimes, like I'm I'll never forget, this isn't funny, but I was at my stepmother's dad's funeral. This is, I was still like, a teenager basically, or maybe like, I had to be a teenager. Like, but my late teens, right? 18, 19 years old.
Right.
And I remember I was sitting by her, and my stepmother got like, dark sense of humor, right? So I'm sitting next to her, and it's like awkward. I don't know what to say to her. You know what I'm saying? And I said something like, I'm sorry about your dad or something like that. And she was like, damn, nigga, that's all you got to say? It's like, that's how she is, you know what I'm saying?
Right,
but it was also like, that's all you got? Like, I was like, yeah, because I hadn't learned really, even though my dad was one of the most emotionally mature people I can think of. My dad, shows all sorts of emotions, and he has always been like a different type of dude when it comes to that, like when it comes to just being like open and presenting. But even with him raising me, I still lived in the world, and I still didn't quite know how to like hug my stepmother and make her feel comfortable. And you know what I'm saying? Sometimes my wife will be upset about something, and I have to make sure that I'm presenting well, because it's important. Like, it's not just about getting up and going to work and beating a nigga up and threatening people. It's about being emotionally protective, and that varies. Emotional protection obviously is different for your wife than it would be for your neighbor or just, your colleague or whatever, but you still have to be able to protect in those different ways, and especially for your daughters. Now, my daughter is very, 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 very young. Okay. I'm not gone through teenage years and all of the stuff you hear about, you know what I mean? But I need to be prepared for that.
Clearly.
Right? I need to be prepared for if I say the wrong thing, and I'm, and how do I, or maybe she doesn't need me to just fix it. She doesn't need daddy to just fix it. She needs daddy to listen. She needs daddy to understand, and all these things are important. So again, I'm never going to get mad at brothers wanting to protect their daughters, right? But what are we protecting them from? Are you protecting them from fiction? Or are you prepared to protect them from the actual world that they're going to go into? And the same goes for your sons, which I think is a bigger conversation.
And when we're using this, and when we're using the same jargon, Adam, as men, what are we saying to the young boys?
Yeah.
Like what are we saying to them? Like you are a savage until proven otherwise. You understand what I'm saying? Like
and this idea of manhood that only centers around like sexual prowess and money,
brute force,
all of the toxic shit, right? You know, you get the Boosie situation where like my son needs a pussy, so I'm gonna buy him a prostitute at however old, right? And that was a thing some years ago, right? Or and most people don't take it to that extreme. There is a lot of pressure to do grown up things when you are, and there's an expectation even from the best of a parent that like you aren't hitting certain milestones at certain ages, and what does that say about you, and what is it? And then because there's other worries about you that are always come from an ignorant place, quite frankly. We have to talk about those. We have to talk about those things because as boys start to, as we progress, as we learn more, as we understand more, as less of us are being raised in extreme poverty or extreme, like, as our generation maybe doing a little better than our parents' generation, maybe. So your kids are being raised with more stuff. They're being raised in the burbs, or they're being raised in a 2-parent household, whatever. And you start to have kids that don't look like the kids you grew up with. They're not like Goonie. They're not this. They're not that. They're just kids, right? They're like anime. They like things that you don't understand, right? Your kids gonna have different emotions and different thoughts on things. You have to be able to, and boys in particular, you have to be able to understand who they are, love them for who they are. You love them, but love them for who they are, right? And being able to protect the person that they are, not create the person that you want them to be. Protect the person that they are right now, and probably will be for the rest of their life. Not try to transform them into something because you feel like you need to protect them from the nerd or whatever they are. You know what I mean? And that is a big piece of a lot of men and women need to learn, but we're talking about men right now. Men really need to learn how to protect, be emotionally protective of their sons and daughters.
And that too, like I said, that's also a part of protection. It's not knowing how to speak, knowing how to listen, knowing how to emotionally pour in. All of that part is a part of protection because you're also teaching that. You understand what I'm saying? Like I said, I talk in nauseum about the things my mother and my father directly taught me. I can talk about the examples my father showed me of just handling business, of the way that a conversation goes between he and his partner, his spouse. Something is brought to his attention, and he goes and handles that element of business. That's what I saw. From my mother, I got specific. You need to do this. You need to do that. From my father, I got, when you see this going on, you go, you have this, that, and the third. So like it's not just because I didn't grow up in a toxic environment. I didn't grow up. You understand what I'm saying? Like, so everything isn't about every element of extremity. And sometimes we're, like you were talking about, we're completely missing out on talking to children directly in the middle of things. You understand what I'm saying? Like sometimes I hate the fact that every conversation goes to the extremity of abuse, because that obviously anyone that ends the conversation when somebody hit my daughter. I don't have to worry. Somebody, well, of course.
Yeah,
but
you're saying that to prove how much of a man you are. Yeah,
exactly.
You're saying that to prove how much of a man you are. You're not. That's not really about your daughter. That's more about you showing your boys or women that you a tough guy. I want to run a clip real quick before we. I want to run a clip real quick before we wrap this up. That just made me think about this in the middle of this conversation. I'm gonna run this clip real fast, and I just want to share some thoughts, and you do the same, just real fast.
I hate this whole men's mental health bullshit that they talk about. Unfortunately, when you're a man, you are the provider. You are the one that takes care of your family. You are the example for your kids when they grow up, and your sons, and your daughters. And you, unfortunately, you can't be that guy I see these guys posting on social media, oh, I had a bad day and I'm so sad and all this other crazy shit.
So unattractive.
It's unattractive to other males, let alone women. I can't even imagine. I'm really against all that shit.
All right, so that's Dana White talking about his thoughts on mental health. Dana White, obviously the head of the UFC, who openly slapped his woman and his wife in a casino one day a couple years ago. So, whatever. Yeah, Dana White basically saying he doesn't rock with the mental health movement amongst men, and that it's unattractive to he by the way, he said it's unattractive to men and women. Okay. And then in the day you're yeah, okay. And at the end of the day, you're a provider. I wanted to throw this in here before we wrap this conversation up, because that's the type of person you end up raising.
Exactly.
That's what you end up. And that's the shit we have to break, bro. Boys that cannot express themselves turn into these fuck niggas that we talk about on podcasts and on TikToks and all of this shit all day. Men, boys turn into men that can't express themselves, that bottle up their emotions. And trust me, man, we live in an emotional world, bro. I get emotional every single day. Paul, there's something that happens every single day. Paul, you're one of the people I talk to when I'm feeling emotional.
Exactly.
But more importantly, just real quick, I am a married man. I can't pour all my emotions into you and Dirk and Jamal and Shannon. Okay. I can't. I have to be able to talk to my wife, because sometimes I come home and I'm in a shitty mood. And maybe that shitty mood means I was short with my daughter when she wanted me to get her a cup of juice. Or maybe I was short with my son, who's a preteen and has all sorts of emotions swelling up inside of him.
In his own head. Exactly.
Maybe I was short to her, and now she's trying to figure out what's wrong with this. No, I have to be able to come home. I have to be able to say, if that did happen, here's why. I'm sorry. I'm wrong for doing that too. Here's what's going on. Or you could get real dope with it and get ahead of it and go, listen,
let me
balance my stuff with you. I'm having a bad day today. I'm not in a great mood. So if I come off a little way, I am very sorry in advance, and I'm not going to be trying to do it. I'm trying not to do it, but I need to just help you. Then her natural question will be, well, what's going on? Well, XYZ, XYZ, XYZ. And then you'll be shocked. What happens when you can open up to the person you love? That's for my married brothers, okay? Just in general, you don't want to be raising your sons to be these bottled up ass, emotional midgets.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I think it extends. Your message extends into married brothers, but it extends this into a message. Period. Like you don't want to, like even that whole act. Obviously, we're not raising suckers. You understand what I'm saying? Like I want someone, I'm going to rear my child to be mentally tough, but mentally tough isn't devoid of feeling. It's not like even this whole thing that we try to do with boys when they're actually experiencing pain, right? When children are experiencing pain. You understand what I'm saying? Are you good? No, acknowledge the pain and teach them how to deal with the pain. That's what you do.
Yeah.
You good. Don't cry. Yeah. Man, it hurts. I know it hurts. It's supposed to hurt. You hurt yourself. Here's what we can do. Get that out. It's painful, but you're gonna be all right. You understand? Not immediate. You don't cry. You can't cry. No. There's a reason you're feeling that. You're hurting right now, and I understand that you're hurting. But this isn't gonna be your last hurrah at that. This isn't gonna be so. So I want you to process that, get through it, and keep on pushing. Like the conversation about protection cannot just begin and start at at hitting and all those things. And like I said, that's even that is a two-way conversation. It's not solely from a woman to a man or from whatever entity and relationship you may be in. No person should be hitting any person. You understand what I'm saying? Like even broadening that conversation. You understand what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
but if
Like
you're a man, you don't hit
it's
a woman, man.
necessary.
Like you,
Period.
yeah,
Period.
yeah. I know you bleed it. No, I know, I'm not saying that to you. I'm saying that to anybody listening. Don't hit girl. Anyway, man. Let us know what you think about this in the comments below. What do you think about what you teach your sons? How we should, what lessons do you teach if you have sons, or if you have, you plan on having sons or a son? How would you deal with emotional maturity, and what lessons do you feel like you should teach, and what lessons should we stop teaching, or should we rearrange the way we teach them? All right. Let us know in the comment section below. When we get back, we're going to talk about love and hip hop. That's right. Yeah. Me and Paul are going to talk about love and hip hop right after this.
Interesting.
Paul.
Yo.
Did you know that Love and Hip Hop is going off air? That it's done. It's about to be finished forever. Did you know this?
Wow. After what, 13, 14 seasons, something like this sort?
Oh, I think it's longer than that. I think it might be much
I thought it started
longer
like
than
in
that, actually. I don't know
2012
the
or something
exact.
like that.
Maybe you're right.
Might
I
be.
don't know
Might
exactly
be.
when it
Either way.
started. I don't think it's 20 years or nothing like that. I think you're right. I think it probably started at the earliest 2010, right?
Right.
Love and Hip Hop is a cultural phenomenon. Okay. Speaking of 2012, I remember having a conversation with my students about the impacts of love and hip hop and all this and that. But I got a
That is
question for
correct.
you. Since we're talking about love and hip hop, and we talk to the millennials, we are millennials. I think love and hip hop is a very millennial thing. Can you name for me, Paul, and I'll do the same, the top 3 biggest stars birthed from love and hip hop? Can you do it?
I can attempt with my limited knowledge. I can only speak on the ones that I know. So
That's all I'm asking for.
I would imagine that, like, I think wasn't Cardi B on that show?
Yes.
So I would say that's number 1 for me. This is kind of a cheat for me because I've known him in very many iterations of himself. But I know that my good man, Peter Guns, was able to be the host of Cheaters. One of my favorite shows of all time that I get tremendous laughter off of the reruns on Saturdays of myself and my attendant in the mornings as I think, watching Cheaters and laughing profusely. So my man Peter Guns, who went by Peter Pan on Cheaters, by the way.
What's his name?
You know what I'm saying? And was absolutely hilarious. Hey, my man. Like, the guy was hilarious on that joke. But it spawned from the fact that he was the low-down cheater on Love and Hip Hop.
Oh, Love and Hip Hop.
So
that's
now,
right.
and I also know, and for me, I can do 2 more that I know, but I think I just know them because it's my era. Young Jock and Scrappy.
Okay.
No,
okay.
Those are the people that I personally know. But I know Love and Hip Hop didn't launch Scrappy or anything, but those are the guys.
No. Yeah. No, but that's fine. All right. For me, the biggest star from Love and Hip Hop is Cardi B.
Period.
For those of y'all that don't know, I'm pretty sure anybody watching this show knows that Cardi B got her start really on social media. Is kind of like she had a buzz on social media, but really she got her start on Love and Hip Hop. Bodak Yellow came out probably like a year after she got off Love and Hip Hop. She was a star. Cardi B, Love and Hip Hop, birthed her career. All right. The next one for me would be K. Michelle. K. Michelle, R&B singer.
I love K. Michelle. I forgot. I love her music. She a wild girl, but I love her music.
Yeah.
I love that nasty shit.
All right. Now you got your Mendices of the world and people like that, right?
Right.
Most of these people, most of the other people already had a career prior to Love and Hip Hop. Joe Budden, people like this, right? By the way, Joe Budden was definitely on Love and Hip Hop for years.
Yes,
all right.
he was. Yes, he was.
Also, shouts out to Jen, because I don't watch Love and Hip Hop without I don't know half of this shit if it ain't for her. And us,
I don't know half of it
years.
right now, but I'm rocking with you.
Okay. But I'm gonna go with two people. We said three, but whatever, ain't no rules. I'm gonna go with two people. And one for real reason that's gonna launch the rest of this conversation. Okay. One is Stevie J. Now, I know who Stevie J is, and I knew who Stevie J was back in the day, because Stevie J produced one of my favorite songs by one of my favorite groups, featuring one of my favorite rappers, who is many considered to be the greatest rapper of all time. All right. This man produced Notorious Thugs. All right.
Yes, indeed.
Okay.
Right.
I already knew who Stevie J was, but Stevie J really blew up. Yeah, dog. I mean, Bad Boy, Hitmaker, Stevie J. Can't take that away from him. But Stevie J had a girlfriend on Love and Hip Hop named Jocelyn.
Yes, indeed.
Jocelyn Hernandez was launched because of this show. And the reason why I'm picking Jocelyn is because I believe the thing that essentially, ultimately took out Love and Hip Hop and made Love and Hip Hop irrelevant and not wild enough and crazy enough and seemed extremely tame compared to, is Jocelyn, who is now beefing with this network, but Jocelyn's partnership with the Zeus Network, which took all of that Love and Hip Hop-y Bad Girls Club, now they got the Baddies Show and all that. It took it to the maximum now, right? Whereas on Love and Hip Hop, they would start to fight and they would just break it up. It was like, damn, they about to wreck. Well, no, not on Jocelyn Cabaret. These women are getting body slammed. I remember watching a clip of my wife where the girl, I would try to find this clip. Y'all, if I don't play this clip, I'm so sorry, but I'm going to try to find this clip. There's a clip of Jocelyn, and there's a girl, dancing for her or whatever, and she gently grazed Jocelyn's eyelash, and Jocelyn two-pieced the shit out of her, bro. Just two-pieced her.
Dang.
It was like, why the fuck you touch my eyebrow? And the girl just sitting like, why the fuck you touching my eye, bitch? Okay, so Jocelyn is one of my favorite characters from all of that Love and Hip Hop shit, and I believe, y'all let us know what you think in the comments.
I do.
I believe. Oh, everybody remember.
Yeah.
You remember Jocelyn. Okay.
100%.
Jocelyn, whatever. I believe that she is the reason, ultimately, that Love and Hip Hop can't compete with the ratchetness. I think she truly, unintentionally started the ultimate ratchetness, and she couldn't. She ultimately ended it. Quick honorable mention. And this honestly just talks about P, and I know I'm rapping. I'm gonna be quiet after this, but this honestly shows how, even though I was not a Love and Hip Hop fan, I would watch with my wife, but I never liked the show. But it shows you how culturally relevant this show was. Okay, we mentioned the people that it like created, right?
Right.
Joe Budden, the biggest podcaster in not in the world, because Joe Rogan holds that space, but in Black culture, the biggest podcaster in the world. Jim Jones basically started the show.
Right.
Okay. Joel Santana.
Right.
Lil Scrappy. Young Jock. What's your man with the teeth, dog, to hang out with Kanye and was in
Consequence.
Consequence.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, so many like B tier hip hoppers, bro, graced that show. Okay, Soulja Boy.
Right.
I mean, it was such a bizarre show, dog.
It was. I've never seen an actual whole episode of Love and Hip Hop.
You have it?
Never once.
Bro, they had Love and Hip Hop New York. Well, Love and Hip Hop proper.
Right.
Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. Right. So New York was Jim Jones, his mom, Cardi B, Joel Santana.
That was back when
Smooth
was in love with Cardi B.
Yes. Okay. Shouts out to
That was
Smooth.
he definitely predict. Shout out to Smooth for
He
predicting her
did.
rise, man. He
He
predicted
did, dog.
he really
He
did.
did. Hey,
He really did.
he really did, bro. He
Yeah,
really. Shouts out to Brother Smooth, bro.
yeah.
Shout out
and
Brother
we
Smooth in the
talking,
comments, yo.
we
Yeah.
talking like way, way back in the day. Like I remember amongst. That's probably where I first heard about her.
You might be right, bro. I forgot about
That's
that. You're
probably
absolutely
where I
right.
first heard about her was from bruh.
Yeah.
Was definitely
Yeah.
because
You gotta get credit.
bruh was on her line back in the day. You know
Yeah.
when she
Nah, I
and
gotta
he
get
was
credit.
size when she got her teeth fixed and all that. He broke the genealogy down to us and everything.
Credit where credit is due. That's Love and Hip Hop, New York, or Hip Hop, Love and Hip Hop in general. I think Safari came from it. Safari was on there. People like that, right? You got hit Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. I honestly, I wish I could just call Jen Dash. She ain't coming on the show, but I wish I could just like get her on here right quick. She could break all this
I know
down.
she get me caught up to speed.
Yeah. I wish I could just call her real quick. I would. I'm tempted by like yell at this, but I'm gonna get myself in trouble.
Oh man.
You got should I do it? I'm not gonna do it. All right. Yeah. No, I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna leave her alone. I'm gonna leave her alone. All right. You got Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. That's
right.
Jock. That's Scrappy. That's dang. I forgot the it's like a God. It's them. Okay. Then you got Miami. All right. That was Trina. Trick Daddy was on Love and Hip Hop. That's I forgot my man. Yeah, I mean that was the wildest one, bro. They had this dude on there.
Was that Ace Hood on that joint too?
Ace Hood, Ace Hood might have been on it. It's so many seasons of these shows, bro. Like it's different people that come in and out. But I remember Trina, Trick Daddy. I forgot the Jamaican joint name. Spice is her name. They had this little dude. Oh man, you know, he was gay and he would just get into fights. Shit, he would just be, I mean, he just started hauling off on people and shit. It's crazy, dog.
Hey,
okay. So the thing franchised out, and there were so many people. But what I thought was interesting about it, Paul, was that it was the home of, frankly, the washed rapper. And some used it as the opportunity to relaunch their career in another space. Right? Jock got a radio show, so on and so on. Right? Joe, even though the Joe Budden podcast was going on and Everyday Struggle was on while he was on Love and Hip Hop, but Joe used it to really propel himself, you know, so on and so on. But most of them, it was kind of like a retirement space for like popular millennial rappers.
Right. To gain that last elements of relevancy at that time. So they thought. Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't even say so. I mean, honestly, bro, Yo-Yo was on Love and Hip Hop. And that's like the only like older rapper, like Gen X rapper. I'm using terms millennial Gen X for a reason, right?
Right.
Reason why I say millennial rappers, right? The Bammers from B2K were on Love and Hip Hop. Right. So even talking about like the Millennium Tour, right? That they do right now.
Yes.
These dudes, that's just basically the dudes from Pleasure P and all them were on Love and Hip Hop. From what's the rhyme with me? Them little dudes.
Pretty Ricky.
Pretty Ricky. Okay, they were on Love. So it really was the home because you didn't have like Heavy D with him, but you know, so you didn't have like Big Daddy Kane and you know, his Marquis on these shows, right? It was millennial rappers. It was people that were hot in the 2000s.
Right.
Except for Peter Guns and Trick Daddy, right?
Right.
People that were hot in the 2000s and it cooled off and they found a home on Love and Hip Hop and they did keep themselves relevant by just being people on Love and Hip Hop.
Exactly. To a whole new audience that really did. I mean, for some of the older people, but for a whole new audience that don't even know their music too tough.
Yes, or really liked their music, but wasn't interested in hearing their music anymore.
Right. Interested in seeing about them.
Exactly. Give him a little girlfriend. Basically, if you rapper, crunk era or snap era rapper, they'll give you a girlfriend or invite your baby mother on.
And let's follow
And
your
there you go.
antics.
Love and
You know
hip
what
hop.
I'm saying? Induced with alcohol.
Former Miami rapper, Trick
You know
Daddy,
what I'm
Trina,
saying?
whatever.
Yeah.
Bring your baby
Right.
father on, bring your baby mother
Right.
on. Love and hip hop. Former
Ta-da.
New York rapper, Dipset rapper. Come
You know
on,
what I'm saying?
Jewels. Bring your baby mother on. Love and hip hop.
Let's go.
That's it.
Reunion show.
Reunion
Fight,
show,
reunion
have
brawl.
a beef, fight, get into an argument with somebody, fight, beef
Chop
with
it
your
up.
baby father,
You know what I'm saying?
have a girlfriend you won't propose to,
Right.
have her thinking, I don't know when we gonna get it. That was the thing with Jock, like he would propose to girl. I could go on and on, man. Hey, next time we talk about love and hip hop, I'm definitely bringing my wife on. But yes, man, rest in peace, love and hip hop.
No
Definitely
doubt.
a moment. Do this for me, listeners, tribe, whatever you want to call yourselves. Comment your best love and hip hop moment in the comment section below. We got to honor, educate Paul, honor love and hip hop. All right. When we come back, we're gonna talk about the Met Gala real quick. We'll be right back.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Paul. I know you're a huge fan of the Met Gala. I know you watch every year. You're very much into the themes. It's your
so
thing.
much into it.
Yeah, it's your thing. You get very excited about it every year. I know you always you keep up with the themes. You always know the themes about like a month in advance. I don't know how you do it.
I mean, I'm cultured.
You cultured like that, man. No, but shouts out to the Met Gala. I actually really enjoy the Met Gala. I don't really tune into it like that, but I like the idea of the Met Gala. I remember a couple years ago they did the whole
Dandy.
like the dandy thing, which I'm really into that.
Based on Harlem.
I really appreciate it. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Black dandyism was what I was looking for. The Met Gala is all, usually just like harmless fun. But this year, it wasn't harmless fun for a lot of people.
Not for a lot of folks.
This year, there were a lot of protests, Paul, around the Met Gala. And a lot of people were protesting Mr. Jeff Bezos, man. What's your just your general thoughts on people's reactions to the Met Gala this year?
Shout out to Nargis. Really wish she was here. Nargis had made a great point about things, right? Because we were all talking about, obviously there was a wide host of people who thought that many people shouldn't even attend the Met Gala due to Jeff Bezos basically running it pretty much this year. He's basically, I don't know what they would call him, what that would be, the producer, he's the something.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. Yeah.
What it would be called, right.
Right.
So obviously it's a fundraiser. You understand what I'm saying? Like it's a fundraiser that raises money for, like they try to raise big money, right? So I can understand it's like a double-edged sword because you want people to raise money for a cause, but at the same time, I know that Jennifer Lewis, I know that they were a host of celebrities that were directly talking about the fact that she had condemned people for going there knowing what this man stands for, knowing what he fused his money into, knowing what's going on right now for the world. So I fully understand. I understand the protest. I think that everyone has the right to do so. I understand the outrage, but I don't know. I mean, I haven't studied enough into the Met Gala to know all the ins and outs of it. You understand what I'm saying? But I fully understand why people are protesting, and I understand why they're upset. And I think that they have a point, but I think it's a sticky situation to navigate.
100%. There was an Amazon workers protest. They had their own like fashion show, and they really really laid into Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos overnight has become Jeff Bezos is one of those situations where like either you die the hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. I remember, a few years ago, You know, it was never like, oh, everyone loves Jeff Bezos, but Jeff Bezos was definitely not considered like the villain of the world,
The
unless you
scum
were
of the
really
earth,
in the
right?
know. Right.
Right.
Unless you were really in the know and you really were into like, you know, anti-capitalism and which a lot of
Right.
people are on now, right? But so if
Right.
you were on that years ago, you probably never loved Jeff Bezos and Steve Jobs, or any billionaire for that matter, right? But most people really didn't have a lot of thoughts about Jeff Bezos until the second Trump administration, frankly, until what he did with the Washington Post while, you know, preventing them for endorsing a candidate for the first time in like 100 years, right? Really aligning himself with the Trump administration, all of that stuff, man. Jeff Bezos has definitely become like a villain, you know what I mean? And probably for good reason. So I get it. Also, I'm not anti-protest, but I do understand that sometimes you are damned if you do, damned if you don't. We were talking about this when we were talking about this in our pre-show meeting before Nargis had her technical difficulties. She mentioned that, you know, obviously the Met Gala is a charity, right? And so there are people out there. I'm of two minds of this. We did a whole, you know, it's funny. We did like a whole Jay-Z thing some weeks ago. Billionaire. We had that billionaire conversation that everybody was having around that time. But we didn't air the segment. The segment we weren't satisfied with the segment, so we didn't air it. Maybe it's something we might put out one day. I don't know. But one of the general points I know I was making, just about billionaires in general and capitalism, and things of that such. And there are very brilliant people out there that make really good points about this. Mark Lamar Hill, FD Signifier, people like this that make really good points about capitalism and the dangers of capitalism. Van Lathan, people like this, right? And I tend to agree with them, but I also have not heard, and maybe it's from my ignorance, right? Maybe it's just I'm not understanding. I'm definitely not like caping for them, but maybe I'm just not understanding what the alternative really is. What is the alternative? I can see pieces of the alternative, Canada, the free healthcare. I'm definitely down with that, right? Like that. But I'm not. I sometimes find that people, not just in a billionaire capitalism, not just in the billionaire capitalism example, but just in general, a lot of times people will get up on a high horse and tell you what you shouldn't do without real solutions and without like an alternative, right? Like the Amazon workers doing their own thing, that's an alternative. Because I'm saying all this, Paul. I'm saying all this, Paul, because the Met Gala is a big deal to a lot of people. I have friends. I follow a lot of like fashion accounts, right? I'm into fashion, right?
Hey, go
and
ahead.
in all seriousness, yeah. I like fashion. But you know, in all seriousness, Paul, you know, for those that don't know, I still have, it's not active right now, but I had a sneaker podcast and a sneaker culture podcast for years. So from that, I met a lot of like fashion creatives. I've interviewed a lot of them. I've had a lot of people, and obviously you and I, Paul, we like clothes and shit like that. So I follow a lot of people that talk about clothes and not just sneakers. And I'm telling you, and not just them, a lot of our friends too, when it's time for the Met Gala, people get super excited. They start making content around it. They care about it. It's very similar to the sneaker conversation, Paul. Like, we care about sneakers and sneaker culture on a different level than somebody that just buys sneakers. So we get kind of deep with it. We care deeply about it. We had Haas on the show, and Haas, it's like it's a thing that maybe you don't. Fact. So I'm saying all that to say, people should still be able to have that. Right? People should still be able to have the Met Gala. It's trivial. I know there's people that go, we don't need any of this. And this is true. If it comes down to it, we don't need any of this shit, right? We don't. True. If we got to get into some Mad Max, I understand. Okay? If you're telling me I got a choice between keeping all of my stuff or freedom, yeah, we don't need stuff. But we're not quite, I won't say we're not quite there yet. I won't say that. But people do need things like the Met Gala because, as I preach often, Paul, you've heard me preach this, we need our distractions. We just do. So
and that's why things are it's just a complicated place to navigate and to be in, because you get, and it just shows honestly the times that we're in, because they're so polarizing. So it's like and that's the part where you damn if you do it, you don't, because the times are so polarizing. You can take one of two avenues. You can get so super strict and so, man, my God, I can't believe, you understand? Or it could be like, man,
right.
damn all this. I just want to be sane and I want to have some type of fun and I want to enjoy myself. And like, I know that almost like, honestly, when we have certain conversations, like you said, it is almost damn if I do, damn if I don't. Almost every element of money is tied to something bad. You understand what I'm saying? Like almost every element of it, whether people be good, mean people, whether it be anything, almost element of every element of large business, every element of government, every element. Like when I have my conversations with my brother about certain things, and shout out to my brother, happy birthday, bro. I love you. You know what
Oh,
I'm
happy
saying?
birthday.
It's
Happy
definitely, yeah,
birthday.
my brother's birthday. Like, happy birthday, Brody. He
Yeah.
told me to tell you to be prepared for that. I guess for March 15th. I guess some Iceman or something is supposed to be happening. So he wanted me to
Oh my
deliver. He wanted to
God.
deliver the message to you personally. He wanted me to deliver the message to you personally to be prepared. He wants me, you know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah, I think I've heard about something that might be dropping on the 15th. Yeah. Yeah, by some dude I'm not real familiar with. Yeah.
You know
Word.
what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's
But
funny.
all
That's
those
hilarious.
all those things aside, I think that, like,
Yeah.
you know, like you can go down two paths. So it is because
Yeah.
we're not negating the seriousness of anything. We're not
Yeah.
negating that the fact that everyone should be paying attention to where money goes. People should know that, like, certain things people do have influence, and we can see how it impacts our life, because we're sitting here navigating gas prices. We're sitting here watching voting rights be taken away. We're actively living it. So it's almost like you said, it's almost like, where do you go? Which end do you lie in? And then is there grace for people that are somewhere in the middle?
Yeah, and no, and I know I'm certainly not. I don't feel like you are either. Saying what's right or wrong. Like, I'm not saying you
Right,
wrong
right,
if you want to
right.
protest or you weren't feeling the Met Gala this year, right? I think that what's happening right now, and Trump is like the ignition for it's like the gas for all of this, right? Or the lighter fluid or the lighter for all of
And
this, right?
yes.
So it's so in our face right now that people are really noticing things, right? Like, I go on and on about like movies, and like that's my outlet. Movies and television, like those are my outlets, right? And I'm, the MCU and all of the stuff, right? But Disney just laid off like their entire effects team, like thousands of people, like just laid them off, right? And I'm still gonna take my ass to the movie theater in July and go see Spider-Man, and in December and go see Avengers, and I just got finished watching Daredevil, and I'm gonna watch Vision Quest and all of the shit. I'm gonna go see Mandalorian and Grogu. I'm gonna do all of the things because I need to, while also being in there, fully understanding that like a bunch of this as I'm contributing to the $1 billion this movie's going to make. In the case of Avengers, multiple billions. Okay, in the case of Spider-Man, probably a couple of billion, right? While contributing money to this, they still found a way to lay a bunch of people off. They still felt like we don't got enough.
Yeah.
We don't have enough to do. So the shit is getting out of control, and some of it is inevitable whether we like it or not, right? The Jay-Z thing, real fast, Jay-Z caught it recently. We had that conversation because he was, saying that he was an ethical billionaire. He's basically saying, I never hurt anybody. I didn't get here by hurting people. And I think he believes that. I think people really thought he does. He's just like he's just lying. He's just a piece of shit liar. But I think he believes it because I think he's comparing himself, to the worst type of billionaires. Right. I think he's saying that, nah, I know what some of these motherfuckers did to make this money. I ain't have to do all that. But, the people that bottle his alcohol and the people that, I don't know if he has a clothing company at this point, but whatever, there's factory workers that are getting underpaid, severely underpaid. People that, I don't know if the 40/40 is still open, but people that work in the 40/40 that sweep the floors, severely underpaid. People that work for Rock Nation, I'm sure he got like a bunch of free interns and people that got to like grind and make no money and all this stuff. I'm sure of it. So people are getting hurt. It may not be the same level of hurt of the billionaire or the trillionaire, because you were a billionaire, so you could go in the room with a person that has like blood that supplies blood diamonds probably, or has a pharmaceuticals company or whatever. I get where you compare yourself to them, but there's no way to do it without hurting somebody. And we're starting to realize that now. We're starting to understand that, and I think that the more and more we are getting, this would be my last comment on this. The more and more we are getting fucked every which way, left to right. By the gas, jobs, people losing their jobs, people being underpaid, housing market is crazy. You can't buy a house, can't do this, can't do that. You have a house, the motherfucker's expensive as shit. So that dream of buying a house and it's supposed to be like this big money making, like smart play, ends up just being a debt on your back, right? So I paid $2,000 in daycare, bro. $2,000 just so me and my wife can go to work, and take care.
And
you know what I'm saying?
And contribute into the system. Yeah.
So we gotta send her there. Like she's gotta go somewhere during the day. You know what I mean? And so it's like it's the more and more we start to realize these things, the more and more we're like, y'all are the problem. And I think that's what's happening with the Met Gala. You never heard these things about the Met Gala before. I'm pretty sure there was some billionaire 10 years ago that was producing the Met Gala or had something to do with the Met Gala, but we didn't care then because it wasn't in our face the way it is now. Because frankly, the guy that's in charge right now is flaunting and his billionaires are happy with it. And that's really what it is, bro. That's really what it is.
We're seeing it for one, we're having the ability to see and factor in certain things and just look at it for ourselves. And like you said, with these times when your information is coming at you at a complete fast pace and you're still living, you're still like you're like, darn, now another person that contributed to this, another person, and darn, my gas is still this high, and darn, like you know what I'm saying? Now I'm short with this person that I know has a different viewpoint than me because life is really hitting me, and and everyone doesn't have the emotional fortitude to be able to have a conversation and separate what I'm personally feeling that's happening with me right now. So sitting here looking at all these billionaires put on a bunch of costumes when oranges are too expensive for me, when you understand what I'm saying? When I have to navigate healthcare, when I have to do all that stuff, and then I still also have to deal with the regular person that doesn't share my view, that lives across the street from me. You understand what I'm saying? Like a lot of that can be, overwhelming for people. And this administration doesn't help that in the least bit.
No, it doesn't help that, and the culture isn't helping it right now. We definitely have a crucial cultural divide, bro. Trump to the side. If Smooth was here, he'd be rolling his eyes every time we bring him up. But he is at the center of all of this. But there is another piece of it that is amplified by him. They feel free. They feel they beating their chest. They feel real good because he's there and he's very protective of them, and the judges are protective of them, and certain lawmakers are protective of them. But there are people like Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, people that have drawn a line in the sand that have clearly said, I'm on this side because it's beneficial to me. I understand, it might be a lot of shit happening, but I gotta look out for me. And that's,
I want to stay in a position that I'm in.
Yeah. You know what I mean? And, that is horrifying and that is upsetting, you know what I mean? Because you got a lot of people struggling right now. And something like the Met Gala, which I am full support of. I want to make that clear. I said I was going to make a final comment 2 comments ago, but full support of the Met Gala I think is really cool. I love the people that love it, and I understand it as a person that enjoys art and fashion and things like that. I may not be Met Gala level fashion, you know what I mean? But I can understand it as somebody that's kind of close to that world.
Right.
But like you said, Paul, the idea of a lot of very rich people, even if they are Mark Ruffalo and they say all the right things, even Mark Ruffalo wasn't there, but you get my point. If you get up there on camera and you say all the right things, you're still there with $1 million outfit costume on,
Mm-hmm.
eating well, doing well, when there are people who did everything they were supposed to do and was making $200,000 a year until last January.
Mm-hmm.
And now they got to figure it out.
And
that shit is,
with a guy that makes like $9 billion every 7 minutes that we know has done horrible things.
you got to order shit from him while you ain't got no job. You dig? So
Yeah.
it's tough, man. It's tough. It's tough. I see it. I understand.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Let us know what you
Navigate
think
it
about
how
the
you
Met Gala
will.
in the comments. Yeah, for sure. Let us know what you think about the Met Gala in the comments below. And let's know what you think about billionaires. Fuck it. Let's talk about billionaires in the comments below. All right. When we get back, it's the millennial moment of the week.
No doubt.
All right, it's the millennial moment of the week. We were talking about this last week. We really need a jingle for this. We need some sort of like graphic.
Most
or something.
definitely.
I'm
It will be coming to you guys soon.
Yeah, we're gonna figure that out. All right. So the millennial moment of the week this week, and we holding it down for Nargis. She's obviously not here this week, so we're gonna hold it down for her. This is her brainchild, but we gonna take care of it. We're gonna be talking about TGIF.
Thank God it's Friday.
Thank God it's Friday was a staple of all of our youth. Okay.
Come on,
a
man.
staple of the youth. Okay. Paul, I'm going to run down a list of TGIF shows. Okay. Because when you think about TGIF, you think of probably 2 or 3 shows. All right. They're going to be on this list. You probably think of 2 or 3, the big 3 people. I feel like people know what they are. All right. But let me run down, and I'm not even sure this is all of them. Okay. Here we go.
I know more.
Do you know them all? Name them.
Family Matters.
Okay.
Family Matters. Step by Step. Boy Meets World. Full House.
There's more.
Those are the big original 4 that I know. The big 4.
Okay.
What else we got?
Full House, Family Matters, Step by Step, Boy Meets World, Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Right.
Hanging with Mr. Cooper. Hanging with Mr. Cooper.
Yes.
And Dinosaurs, bro.
Dinosaurs. Hey, bro, Dinosaurs was a phenomenon, bro.
Bro, and I'm not even sure this all of them. This is just the list that I was just able to pull up real quick via Google. Okay.
Dinosaurs. Oh, and don't forget about Perfect Strangers.
That's what I'm saying. It's got to be more. That's what I'm saying. I'm sure there's more. I'm sure there's more. Was Perfect Strangers TGIF?
Yes.
I need a full list. Hold on, bro.
From 86 to 93. List. That's what Family Matters spun off of.
Bro, I think I got a bigger list now. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Yeah.
Aliens in the Family. I don't remember that one.
I remember that
Baby
either.
Talk. Boy Meets World. Brother's Keeper. Camp Wilder. No, this is more Clueless. Was Clueless a TV show?
Yeah.
Dinosaurs. Family Matters. Full House. Getting By. Going Places. Hanging with Mr. Cooper. The Hughley. Okay, the Hugleys.
The good
just
old
the 10 of us.
They definitely had a rotation.
Bro, Mr. Belvedere. I want to make sure I'm naming. I want to make sure these are
I'm about
all
to
on the
say,
same
you're
network.
not just naming millennial shows, are you?
Nah, I looked up TGIF. I looked up TGIF shows.
Now I'm looking at it now
Okay.
too. Yeah, Dinosaurs, Perfect Strangers, The
I
Women
ain't-
Teenage Witch, Boy Meets World, Step by Step, Full House, Family Matters. Wow.
Yeah, you got the same list I got.
Wow.
Anyway, let's just rock with that list. Okay. Let's just rock with that list. All right. Whenever we do these millennial moments, it's nostalgia for us, obviously.
Yes.
Okay. But if there happens to be a Gen Z or Gen Alpha person watching the show, which a lot of y'all don't watch the show, but I hope you do. You get to understand how different the world was for us. Now, if you are a younger millennial, I think something that might be the equivalent of this is like that Disney Channel run. Okay. That Nickelodeon / Disney Channel run. That's something my brother, maybe even Argus, right? Because she's a little bit younger than us, right?
Yeah. She's a bit
my
younger
brother.
than us.
Yeah, my brother's like the youngest millennial, so he's 28 going on 29. So those would make more sense. But that is the equivalent. I don't know what Gen Z has. I don't know what Gen Alpha has. That is the equivalent of this. But this, when I tell you, Friday nights was must watch TV. Some of the greatest shows of all time. I mean, if we just talk about Full House, Family Matters, Step by Step, Boy Meets World. Okay, I ain't even Sabrina the Teenage. If you just go off this one right here, Full House, Family Matters, Step by Step, Boy Meets World, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, Hanging with Mr. Cooper. Okay, if you just deal with those, you can take Mr. Cooper off. You know we love Mr. Cooper, right?
We did.
And just deal with the other. When you're talking about iconic television, iconic, legendary, memorable television, some of the best sitcoms to ever come on, all on one night at certain periods of time.
All on one night, yes.
And obviously, the biggest star, one of the biggest stars in television history, one of the biggest characters, one of the most iconic American characters, Mr. Steve Urkel.
To this
day. Okay, Mr. Steve Urkel. Also, if you want to talk about Full House, you're talking about the Olsen twins and how iconic they became.
Come on, how man. They were everything for years.
Big deal. So I got one question for you, and I also have this question for the people in the audience as well. Okay, just one question. Was that a once in a lifetime thing? Was that just like a shooting star that we'll never see it again? That programming on one night, that many shows, do you think there will ever be a time like that again?
I don't necessarily think so, although I haven't studied every generation's phenomenon. I haven't studied it to say, right? But what I will say, they that moment in time is captured in we receive information a lot faster now. We have a million different shows and different things to look at. And with streaming and all that, you have the ability to be niche. You have the ability to do all those things. At that time, for preteens and teenagers, and there was no other pocket of totally awesome shows that related to you, that characters that you were looking forward to seeing. There was no, you know what I'm saying? Like now we can look at stuff at our own pace. We can get overindulged. Somebody can say, yeah, well, I'll put that on the back burner to check it out a little bit later on. There was no later on. TG, I think we anticipated this. We waited for Friday. You understand what I'm saying? And understand that programming was so brilliant and so great the way that it drew us all in. TGIF led into Saturday morning. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like TGIF was the precursor for going and spending the night at other people's house. For going to go, man, we're gonna watch Family Matters. We're gonna watch Boy Meets World. You know what I'm saying? And for us that that we're in the sports like that, watch TGIF. You watch the NBA dunk contest on that Friday, that Saturday, that
Mm-hmm.
like all of it played a part. So like capturing that element of lightning in a bottle, I'm sure that they're going to be cultural phenomenons of this age that generations of now will talk about and possibly try to compare the way they always do with 90s basketball and this, that, and the third. I'm sure there will be something that will try to be comparative, but I don't think I don't think it's so. No, I don't think so.
It's not possible. No, never, ever again. It hasn't happened since, and it won't happen. One, television is dead. Sitcoms are dead.
Yeah.
Okay. As you mentioned, the attention span, all of that stuff. What I do think will happen, and it'll look very different. It will almost feel like another language at this point. But short form programming, people are getting very
Fully
hip to
taken
what they call
over.
vertical. Yeah, they call vertical programming. Basically TikTok shows. Basically,
Make for your damn phone.
I can see something. I could see years from now when they're having like the Gen Z moment of the week, right? Some podcast, years from now has the Gen Z moment of the week or the Gen Alpha moment of the week.
Right.
They'll talk about something that like this TikTok run or this IG run or something like
Yes.
that. Maybe they're talking about something
Yes.
like that.
They'll
But
talk about the
no,
Kofi guy and all of that stuff. Yeah.
yeah, but it won't be. No, it won't be.
That. It won't be
That's the
TGIF.
answer.
No.
That's the answer. All right,
No.
that's the answer. So, shouts out to TGIF. Listen, in the comment section, we got a lot of prompts for you guys tonight. All right, we need your participation in the
What
comment
was your
section.
favorite show, man?
There you go, Paul on it.
Yeah.
Paul on it. All right, let us know your favorite TGI show in the comment section below. All right, we're gonna get ready to wrap up after this.
For sure.
All right, Pete, this was fun, man. We'll be back next week.
Most
We'll have our
definitely.
sis back with us. We'll be getting back in the studio soon. We got a couple actual in-studio sessions we're trying to work out. A couple of guests we're going to be trying to get on the show as well. But really, the conversation is going to continue next week, man. Until then, shouts out to all of our followers on all social media. Okay. The MSR Pod on Instagram, the MSR Pod on TikTok, Mindstream Radio on Facebook. Remember to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, comment on the show, share the channel with your loved
Even
ones.
with your
Listen,
hating.
man.
Comment your hating.
Hate,
Even
do
with
whatever, man.
You got the right.
Listen, man.
Show love, it's whatever.
We getting close to 1,000. Okay.
Come on, help
we still
us.
got a little ways to go, but we getting close. Okay. We're a small channel. There's people out there with 100,000 subscribers. I get it, man. But we trying to get to 1K. That's a big deal for us. All right. So if you are watching this and you are not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. Big shout out to all our subscribers that have been watching the show consistently. We can see the numbers. We appreciate you all. We got something going and we're real proud of it. All right. But remember to rate and review the show, like the show, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. If you are a podcast listener, traditional audio podcast listener, don't worry, we got you. We are on all podcasting platforms, and those numbers are starting to do pretty well as well. All right. So remember, rate and review the show, do all of that, subscribe, all of that stuff. All right. We really appreciate you all. Thank you so much. All right. Black man.
What up?
How you feeling?
Absolutely wonderful, bro. Glad we could get a couple of things off our chest and talk to the people. It's always wonderful engaging with them.
Yeah. If you all haven't noticed, we do live in Washington, D.C. in the DMV area, and we are Commanders fans. And if you haven't peeped, my man here is a supporter of the team. I am too. I don't wear my Commander gear a lot, unless it's like to the game for real. But I'm looking at a Commander hat right there. Like it's one literally right staring at me. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to wear my hat. My man go to the events though. See, so that's what he be getting all the Commander gear, dog.
All the gear. With the new spit.
You got all the Commander gear.
With the new spit. Come on, man. Come on, man. I love where I grew up, man. I love our city. I love it. I don't care what type of pictures these people are trying to paint. It's some absolutely wonderful people that come in. It's an absolutely beautiful city, regardless of anything.
Okay. You know what it is, bro. You know what it is, man. Good luck to the Wizards in the lottery coming up.
No doubt.
All right.
No doubt.
Until next week, I'm Adam Butler. That's Paul Span.
Black Man Span exit in the building.
Remember to be great. Remember to free DC. All right.
Elevate us.
We up out of here. Peace.
Peace.